So let's talk about herd immunity. Herd immunity is when the number of immune people is far greater than the number of non-immune people. So when this happens, the virus pretty much has nowhere to go because most people would be immune to the disease. So what's immunity? Immunity is protection from infectious disease, and there's two ways of getting immunity. The first way is the old-fashioned way, infection, but it's a very unpleasant experience. And the second way is via vaccination. And a vaccine is a biological substance that stimulates your body to develop an immune response. I like to think about a vaccine like a cheat code that tells your body the answers to be better prepared to fight a future infection. So now let's compare infection versus vaccination. Let's look at the pros and cons of each. So first up is infection. Although it's an unpleasant experience, you can eventually acquire immunity. So let's talk about the cons of getting an infection. First of all, it's an unpleasant experience. Second of all, if you're an elderly person or if you have underlying conditions, you're more likely to have COVID complications and die from COVID. Third of all, even if you're relatively healthy and you're young, you still have a small chance of getting a COVID complication and dying from this COVID infection. You can still spread the disease to a loved one who could eventually get really sick and die. All right, and 5, let's say you get infected, right, and you survive. There's still a possibility that you might have long-term lingering symptoms. I'm talking about months after the infection. Symptoms that include loss of smell, loss of taste, rash, arrhythmia, muscle pain, headaches. These are all very unpleasant symptoms. So now let's talk about the pros and cons of getting vaccinated. Specifically, I'm going to talk about the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccine. Vaccination is protection without the infection. The most common symptom is, surprise, surprise, a little bit of arm pain, swelling, redness. The most concerning symptom is a severe allergic reaction. The good news is that everybody is monitored for the first 15 minutes, and if you are one of those unlucky people that get this severe allergic reaction, this condition is completely treatable with an EpiPen. There is a possibility that you could get reactogenic symptoms from getting the COVID vaccines. These symptoms are temporary and they go away, and they include fevers, chills, aches. So the long-term effect is unknown, and I'm going to be honest with you. These are the most scary. That's probably the scariest part of the vaccine. We don't know the long-term effects. But as of right now, we have 3 options. We can either try our best not to get infected, we can get infected, or we can get vaccinated. Look, let me be honest with you. I was hesitant about getting this vaccine because, we don't have long-term data. And I know the thing that's in the back of people's minds is this vaccine was developed really fast. But at the end of the day, I did the research. I looked at the data, I trust the science, and I found that no corners were cut. And I made a decision to get vaccinated. And so far, I've had no major symptoms. The only symptoms that I had was arm soreness for like 2 to 3 days, but that resolved on its own. So I'm due for my second shot on January 26th, and I'm going to be sharing with you my experience with this COVID vaccine via this social media platform. So I'll let you know what happens to me 2 weeks after the second dose. So I know that this is a sensitive topic, and I want to make this very clear. It is not okay to shame people regarding their personal medical decisions. If you ask for my opinion, I'm for the vaccine. But my advice to you is do your research, make an informed decision, and make a decision that's right for you, one that you're comfortable with.